What's going on, guys? Connor here, back at you with another video. So today we're going to be recapping, I believe it was my fourth active trade for my $500 to $1,000 goal. And if a lot of you are following up with it or keeping up on it, you'll know that I took kind of I guess you could say a hefty loss of about 7% due to some issues that I experienced with Robinhood and their lag or their delay, you could say, which costed me quite a bit of money, especially on this challenge. So it was a little frustrating, but as you can see, I'm just taking my time and being patient with my trades, and sure enough, I've bounced back from that, issue with no problem. I was resting at about 525 on this specific account. I'm now resting at $504. So for my for day four for my active trade, I went up 8% on a trade. I could have locked in about 11, 12%, but I was looking to play for a bigger mover, and I ended up, stopping out and taking an 8% winner, which is completely fine, and we're going to go over that trade, and you're going to see exactly where I got in, where I added some shares. I'm just going to walk you through my thought process on the whole trade. And enough of these videos, I'm very positive and very, pretty sure you guys are going to start to pick up these same type of trends, especially with using my scanners. And so the biggest thing I can stress, is risk management, and being patient in waiting for the trades to literally just to literally just come by and smack you in the face and say, "Hey, buy me, buy me, buy me." Okay, there's no point in rushing trades. Honestly, the best trades that I win on and the best trades that I take are the ones where I just sit and wait for the pattern to occur, and then I just strike it hard. Okay. And actually on this specific trade I took, it was DXTR, and I maxed out my account and I went all in on the trade, and I ended up going up $32, which doesn't seem like a whole lot of money, but for starting with an account of about $500, those little base hit wins are gonna add up really quickly, and that's what you guys need to do to start growing your small account. And I'm here to kind of walk you through that whole process as we do it together. Okay, so let's just kind of go over the trade. I'm gonna back out a little bit and zoom out here. So as you can see where my cursor is at, this was the beginning of the day. This was pre-market. Then as we come into the trading day, DXTR did not do anything special. It just started selling off. It had very, very low volume. So, this wouldn't be something I was interested playing in the beginning of the day. It clearly wasn't meeting any of my indicators that would want to make me buy the stock. Actually, when I did buy the stock, I was actually out running some errands, and I think I was grabbing some coffee, and I ended up coming back home and hop back on my computer to see if there was any movement or any patterns that I would like to get on, and I just so happened to stumble across this, and noticed it right about here. Okay, I noticed it right as it was about to break the VWAP. So I started getting an order ready. Okay, I started getting ready to buy this. But before I did that, I hopped back out into a later time frame on 20-day 1-hour chart just to give me a better picture, a bigger understanding of what the stock has done in the past, and to see if it had that potential to make a big move. And obviously it did. After I explain my entry points, I'm gonna go into the 20-day 1-hour chart, so I can show you that I noticed a descending triangle pattern occurring, and that is part of the reason why I bought it. There were so many indicators on this thing that just told me to buy. That's why I maxed out my account, and bought in. And I'm gonna go through all those indicators. There was like, let me see, there's one, there's two, three, there was like four things that told me to buy this one. When you have four indicators, actually there's five or six, honestly, signs that said, "Hey, buy me, buy me, buy me," and then look what happened, it shot up. So by the end of this video, I'm gonna go over all those, and you're gonna see exactly why I crushed it on this trade. I mean, 8% is not a lot, but nailing a trade like this, what more can you ask for? Okay, there could have been better trades throughout the day I could have took, but I just so happened to come home, seeing this one. It was so solid, meeting all those signals, that I just, I had to take a stab at it, and sure enough, I won, and that's awesome. So let me go over this real quick, right? So there's something I always stress where it's like, play the breakouts, play pullbacks, maybe play bull flags and stuff like that. So there's a lot of patterns I look for, and I'm one of those guys that always stresses to play the breakouts because they're really simple to spot. Okay, so here was the breakout on the stock. Let me switch over my drawing tool real quick. So here you go, right? So on the intraday chart, if I were looking to play this all day long, I would have wanted to see this thing break above its previous intraday high, which is basically the high of where it opened up at, right? So basically where it opened up to start the trading day, I would say if there's any benefit to going long in the stock, it would have to be a break of the, initial high of the day, which was right here. And sure enough, it broke out right there and you see it rip, okay? That wasn't the only buy signal I saw. There was a couple more, right? So this thing sold down and there was low volume, but it started trickling back up to test that level, right? So this wasn't spiking up and testing it, but it was coming for like a nice slow turnaround. It's saying it was just very quiet, probably just flying below most people's radar. I just literally just so happened to click on the stock and look at it, and I noticed the pattern and I jumped right in. So this wasn't something that I would have caught unless I clicked on the screen, or else I would have missed the move. But luckily for me, I literally just so happened to be going through stocks when I got home and found this one. Okay, so it was just basically moving down all day long. I got it. I noticed it right here. It just broke above the volume weighted average price. So now we're getting a VWAP breakout for intraday. The stock was trading below it all day long. So now we just broke through the VWAP resistance. As you can see, once we broke through, volume started to increase, more volume than we've seen all day. So that was a good sign. Not like it was a ton of volume, but there was a lot of volume coming in compared to all day. Secondly, we had all these moving averages starting to cross over. What that's showing is we're now uptrending. Our moving averages are starting to separate from each other. So they're becoming wider. Essentially, it means we're going up. Now, don't base your trades all based on that, because it could have easily just went up and then just came back down and they could have all crossed again. But that is one indicator. So first we have a VWAP breakout intraday. That's one indicator. Second, our moving averages are starting to cross over. 3, the price is coming back up to test the intraday high. So that's our third indicator. The other fourth indicator is all this volume's coming. You could say a fifth indicator is the MACD is starting to cross over. RSI I didn't really care for. RSI didn't really matter to me. So right now I think we're at about 5 indicators. Our sixth indicator, which will become a little bit more obvious, I'm going to go into a 1-day 3-minute chart for you, is there was a completely evident pullback occurring on a 3-minute chart. So, I like to trade in 1 minute, 5 minute, 3 minute, because I'm a day trader, so I need to know these patterns on really small time frames. So 10-minute charts probably aren't going to be the best for me. They may be for you on your style, but particularly for me, I like to do 3-minute charts, 1-minute charts, 5-minute charts, a little bit less time frames. So as you can see right here, I started noticing the stock right here. I seen it was coming up to retest the highs. We just had a VWAP breakout. Our moving averages are starting to cross over. Our volume's starting to increase. These are all signs of buying, buying potential. And then right here, we had a 3-minute pullback, right? So right here we went up. We had a little bit of consolidation in the red there, a little bit of sell-off, not a lot. It was basically just consolidation. If I go back to the 1-minute chart, you'll see it was just consolidation. There was real no sell-off, so that was very interesting to me, and it grabbed my attention. So then I wanted to play the 3-minute pullback. I ended up getting in a little bit late, and I got in right above this candle. As you can see where my arrow's at, I ended up getting in at a price of 0.303. So you can see right here, I bought 1,000 shares at 0.303. Then once I seen the volume start to kick in and we continued upwards, I said, you know what, this looks like a runner. I'm going to just max out my account, or the rest of available money that I have to buy shares with. So then I added another 400 shares at the price of 0.309. And then from here, we just ripped up. So if I would have sold at the tippy top, actually I would have made about 15%. No, I would have made about 15%. Or no, once I averaged up, because I technically did average up from this price, so I would have really been able to capitalize on about 12%. The most I could have got would have been 13.51 if I sold on a peak, but that would have been really hard with the way that it moved. But I had a better opportunity to make about 11, 12. But I thought this thing had some more potential to keep going. So I held on, and then once I noticed it coming back down, if I go back to a 1-minute chart, once I noticed it coming back down right in this candle here, that's where I sold. I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys here. So right in this candle is where I sold at 0.33 something. But basically, I went up 8% very quickly, then sold off as soon as I noticed that the trend was no longer momentumly going up, and I sold out and took my profits, okay? So it would not be good just to keep holding this. Once you see this red candle, there's no way you would just want to keep holding this today. Oh, it could go up. Oh, it could go up. Well, guess what? It did go up, and then it sold down again, and it did go up, but you don't know that's going to happen. So you just got to get out, take your profits, and be happy with that. You do this enough times, making 8, 7, 5% a trade, and you're going to stack up your account. It's going to grow fairly quickly. Now, on the flip side, not the flip side, but think about it this way. You're making 5% a trade. You're making good money. Don't worry, because one of these days, one of these trades is going to be that 40. It's going to be that 50, that 60% gainer. Okay, you just got to be patient. It's going to happen. Don't go looking for it every time, because you were not going to get it, and then you're going to start killing yourself because you could have locked in 15, you could have locked in 20%, but you went for the home run every single time, and now you're losing 10% off the 20% you could have had if you just would have locked in profits. Okay, so I went for the runner. Okay, I did go for a bigger move, and guess what? I lost like 2%. I lost 3%, but I still locked in majority of my gain. So if you're going to go for some home runners every here and there, that's fine, but make sure if it starts to go the other way, you just get out. Okay, make sure you're capitalizing on majority of the gain that you've just made and not giving back too much, looking for that big move up. Okay, now I want to go into, so now we're at like 6 indicators, right? We had the intraday breakout, we had the VWAP crossover, the moving averages are starting to separate, we had volume coming in, we had our MACD indicator showing a bullish sign, we had our 3-minute or 1-minute pullback depending on what you were looking at. Okay, so there's multiple buy signs right there. Now I'm going to go into a 20-day. First, I'm going to clear my drawings. Then I'm going to go into a 20-day, 1-hour chart, and you're going to be able to see the descending triangle pattern that I noticed that was occurring, and that was like a for sure buy sign for me. When I noticed all these things come together, there was no doubt in my mind this was going to run, so I went ahead and bought it and took a stab at it, and sure enough, I was right. And this is enough of these videos. You guys will just start to learn this stuff. If you're not familiar with descending triangle patterns, at some time or at some point, I will do one. Maybe not today, maybe within the next week, but I would recommend looking them up, whether on Google, somebody else's YouTube channel, you never know, and start to familiarize yourself with this pattern, and you can capitalize on them too. So descending triangle pattern was basically this. I went into a 20-day, 1-hour chart. I wanted to see when has it recently spiked, what was the highest it made. It made it a high of 0.385, so that could be a resistance point, not getting much higher than that. So for my move, when I kept holding, I was looking for it to go up and retest those highs, but it didn't, and that's okay. I went in and I got out. But the descending triangle pattern basically was this. You go from all the tippy tops of their spikes or like their high points, right? And you draw a line. You draw a trend line down. So you're going from the tippy tops of all the previous spikes and high points, because now it's on a downtrend, so you're following the trend downwards and you're going over the top spikes, right? And when I noticed that, I was like, okay, so right now we have our downtrend, our descending triangle. Now you go and you draw a trend line from all of its base, basically the most recent base. You want a flat base. Descending triangles usually have a pretty good flat base, and that's what we have right here from this point here, here. So it kind of fumbled around for a little bit down here. But basically, you have your flat bottom, and now as you can see with my 2 red lines drawn, I have a descending triangle, okay? And what happened? We spiked right there. So what you're looking for in these descending triangle pattern is basically when the price gets pushed further and further into this cornered area, right? It's like the price action is getting just completely compact and it's getting pushed. It's like imagine just shoving a bunch of people in a room and just keep pushing them in and pushing them in and pushing them in. Eventually, they're going to find a way out, like they're going to either break through a window or they'll go through the back door, and that's kind of what we're looking at. We're seeing this price action just get crunched in to this little itty-bitty triangle area, and we're looking to see, is this thing going to pop up above its descending downtrend resistance, or is it going to break below its support and then just come crashing down? So that's what we're really looking for on that, and descending triangles are known to do these. They're known to spike up. So knowing that, and looking at that 20-day, 1-hour chart, I was able to determine that this is probably a good trade. I have a descending triangle pattern. I have a VWAP crossover. Moving averages are making bullish signs. My MACD indicator is making a bullish sign. There's been low volume all day, but now the volume's coming back in. I have a pullback. So there's just all these signs screaming me to buy it, and that's what I did. So now look at, I have this descending triangle pattern. Watch me go into the 1-day, 1-minute chart. And then the cool thing about this is when you see it in this picture, it's not as evident, but when I go down to the 1-day, 1-minute chart, you're literally going to see that the stock broke out right where my line is drawn on the 20-day, 1-hour chart. Look at that. You see it now. Isn't that special? I mean, that's so cool. Like and that's what I mean. It's like even I'm not the most professional person, but being able to understand these patterns and teaching yourself these patterns and learning them is going to help you improve so much, right? So after I've drawn that descending triangle pattern, let's go back once again. I go back to a 20-day, 1-hour chart. You see the pattern right there. I go down to a 1-day, 1-minute chart, and the stock broke out as soon as it broke above that descending triangle line resistance point. Along that, you had pullbacks in here. You had great pullbacks. VWAP crossover, volume coming in, MACD. So all these signs pointed me to buy, and that's how I got that move up. Like I said, patience is key to ruling the stock market. Never chase it. If it's late, you're late to the party. Don't run and go chase it, because you could have seen this move up and you would have bought in here, and then you would have made 4% looking to make more, and then you would have came crashing down. So never chase the stocks. Be very patient. The plays will come to you. Boy, will they come to you, okay? So just let it be and just wait for your time, and then you strike hard, and that's how you're going to grow your account very quickly. Be consistent. Practice risk management efficiently. Don't be stupid about it and be like, oh, it's going to go up, because no, it's going to come crashing down. Majority of the time, they just come crashing down, and then you'll cut your losses somewhere around here, and then you'll miss the move back up. So just always practice risk management, your stop losses. And so that's the video for today. That would recap my 4th day of actively trading on my $500 account with Robinhood, to show a lot of people that you can grow a small account. Just be very consistent with your trades. And as always, I hope you guys like the video, and please subscribe so I can get to 10,000 subscribers as quickly as possible. That way I can go and live stream all my pre-market analysis and all my live trading onto YouTube for my followers. That way they can see exactly what I'm doing, and it'd be awesome to be able to do that rather than to be on Facebook Live. And a couple other things. Please join the Tech Buds group on Facebook. Super good group, as I always say. And if you're not already, friend request me on Facebook, because that's where you're going to be able to join in on my pre-market analysis and my live trading for now until I reach 10,000 subscribers. So with that being said, that's the end of the video, and I can't wait to make the next one. I'll see you guys soon.